What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about online exchanges when it comes to dating apps. I talk to a lot of guys in my community, and I'm booked for coaching often, back and forth, on topics like this, and a lot of guys still get this really wrong. I shared this thread that I'm about to read to you here on my social media feed because I kind of wanted to see where a lot of guys' heads are at, how well calibrated they are, and my question essentially was, where did this guy go wrong? Because the exchange just sort of died off. So this is on the dating app Bumble, and she opens with, what was the last thing that made you smile? If you guys are unfamiliar, Bumble's, I think, the only dating app where women are generally forced to approach the guy first, although I understand there's some new prompts which let guys open, or you can pay for premium features which let guys open the conversation. But it looks like in this scenario, she opened, which is a pretty good sign. And she says, what was the last thing that made you smile? He responds with, yesterday when I was with a group of friends, several interactions made me smile. What was the last thing that made you smile? Happy Sunday, how's it going? Question mark. Same, my friends. Then he says, how big is your circle of friends? And then the conversation just died off there that day. And then it went on to another day, and she responds, like 10 friends. He goes, nice. Who's the newest of the lot? And how did you become friends with them? She responds with basically a few words saying 4 years ago. And then the conversation dies off and it goes to the next day. And he responds with, that must have been during the pandemic. How did you two connect? And then she responds with, we studied at, and it's redacted. And then he responds with a big blurb saying, great, I went to blah, blah, blah too, and good luck with whatever you're looking for on this app. You haven't contributed to our conversation at all. You've been giving me one or close-ended responses. Didn't even bother asking me a single question. Perhaps you're expecting me to carry the whole conversation. That doesn't work for me. Please read this message and kindly unmatch me. Thank you. Anyway, so when I posted this on social media, again, I said, let's see how unplugged you guys are. What did you do wrong here? And I got some good responses and some pretty awful ones. The guy that made the most sense here, Matt, he said, you only use dating apps to get the date, talking way too much. Since when is ChatGPT on dating apps? So this guy Marcel seems to think that he was using AI prompts to sort of go back and forth with her, talking too much before setting up a date. He talked too much and seemed too needy. There was no fun in this. Other one said, damn, nice job interview. So let's go for a drive and I'll tell you what I think went wrong and how something like this can be handled better. Now, generally speaking, there's a lot that sort of leads up to getting the match and her opening you. A lot of that I cover in my book, The Unplugged Alpha. I also have a pretty in-depth course or classroom segment in my School of Unplugging that a lot of my students are getting a ton of positive results from. But I'm going to skip all of that sort of like leading up to the match part, right? Maybe we'll save that for another video. So you get the match, she opens you and basically asks you some sort of open-ended question to get you sort of talking. Now, what I had read back to you guys there is absolutely true from a lot of the observers in the comments that got it, which was there's too much blah, blah, blah talking back and forth. It did kind of look like he was almost using AI prompts, or he was using too much of his time to engage in the conversation. A lot of the times guys will get matches with women that have a mostly indifferent attitude towards them. I've said this before and I'll recap again. There's really three types of guys that women see when it comes to romantic endeavors. There's the guys that they're super hot to trot for. They've got genuine burning desire. They'll go out with you right away. Like, I've seen women on dating apps when there's a match, you don't even have a chance to open. They'll just drop their phone number with nothing else, or just drop their number and say, text me, let's get a drink or something like that. That'd be a strong indication of desire. They're really not interested in idle chit chat. They're not really interested in the rapport building phase that a lot of guys like to think that they need to keep themselves trapped in. And I think a lot of guys sort of like do this to themselves, where they cook up this notion or idea that they need to spend a lot of time building something, like a little bit of Kino, if you know what I'm saying. And that's the worst thing that you can do with dating apps. The whole point of the app really is you get a match, she digs your vibe, you have a match now. Now you can open up a conversation. The point of the conversation is to get the number and then get to the date. Now, some people argue with me on this and they're like, just get her Instagram or go back and forth and say these things to sort of open her, blah, blah, blah. And you can do all of those things, if you really want to like jump through a whole bunch of hoops, but I find it a colossal waste of time. And the guys that are in my program in the School of Unplugging that follow the cues that I've given them are getting way faster and way better results. So my solution of this really is just one or two prompts back and forth. And then quite simply, you're a man of some purpose in your life. Hopefully you're chasing excellence, not women. You're out there putting some kind of a dent in the universe. You understand a lot of these core concepts that I've talked about. And you just say something to her along the lines of, hey, I'm not on this app very often. What's your number? Question mark. I'll message you to set up a date. Simple as that. And if she likes you enough, she'll give you her phone number and you'll text her and you'll set up a date. And, we can talk about that in another video. If she doesn't like you, she'll give you an excuse, or she'll say something like, I'd like to chat here first to get to know you, or stranger danger, or I hardly know you, I don't give out my number to just anybody, blah, blah, blah. I guarantee she's given out her number to just quote unquote anybody in the past before on a dating app if the guy's hot enough. Trust me, this is what women do. Like I said, there's 3 categories. There's the ones they have the genuine burning desire for, there's the guys that they're indifferent to, and then there's the guys that are essentially ghosts of them. They're just about invisible. They don't really notice them, or they wouldn't even match them. The indifferent guys, they make jump through all kinds of loopholes. You'd be surprised how many matches women get on dating apps. It's pretty absurd. Like, even an average looking woman, like a 5 or a 6, will get hundreds of matches on a dating app. I mean, if she spends 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day doing a little bit of swiping here and there, she'll get a ton of matches. Virtually every guy, if she's decent looking, will match up with her, even a 5 or 6, like I said. And that's just the way that it is, and that's just the way that it's always gonna be. There's way more guys on dating apps than there are women, and the women that are on dating apps aren't as hot or aren't as good looking as most of the top shelf guys that are on there that they're all chasing. You know, we've said this before, women are hypergamous. They always chase guys that they can look up to. They want to be with a giant. They only date up on a socioeconomic scale. So when it comes to stuff like this, like the struggle that a lot of guys have, where there's a lot of blah, blah, blah back and forth, bro, you dug your own grave. You're going to have to lie in it. Don't waste your time with building rapport, discussing or anything like that. If she doesn't want to get to a date, if she doesn't want to get to a number exchange so you can get off the app and take it to a more intimate level or basis, not to say that you're going to be intimate or anything like that, but for her to give up her phone number to you, for you to ask for it, is common. Like, women expect guys to ask women out. Women expect guys to pay for dates. They don't generally want to be the ones prompting this information. It's very rare that they do. Like I said, if a woman really digs your vibe and has genuine burn desire, it's not uncommon for her just to drop her phone number on there and just say, text me or call me or let's get a drink or something like that. They'll just openly give it away if you're a hot enough guy. If you're not, then that's when you're jumping through hoops. If she doesn't see any attraction whatsoever, she's never going to match with you. But the problem is a lot of guys fall into that middle category, right? Not the ghosts, not the genuine burning desires, the guys that she's okay to get some attention from, the guys that she's willing to entertain, to have a little bit of dialogue with, maybe she's like, I'll give him a chance, or I don't have a lot of matches this week, or the hot guys that I've messaged, they haven't responded to me, or the guy that I hooked up with last week, he's ghosted me. And then she'll kind of like open up to the idea of engaging with a guy that she's mostly indifferent to. Don't waste your time. If it's not getting to a number exchange, if it's not getting to something that closely resembles the arranging of a date to get together in real life, because you can't test chemistry by looking at some photographs. Most women use old photographs and they tend to exaggerate or find ways to amplify beauty. Men are on the opposite side of the scale. Like, women lie about their attractiveness and their age and their youth and their beauty and their fertility. Men sort of lie about their success, their status and stuff like that. That's just how it is, and that's just how it's always going to be, and that's fine. But for the guys watching this, please, like, have some dignity for yourself, guys. Don't waste your time going back and forth. Don't give away attention freely to women that aren't genuinely interested in you. I've said this before in this video, and I'm going to repeat it again before we wrap up. It is paramount that you only deal with women that have a genuine interest in you, that have a genuine desire to want to see and meet you. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Now, the counter argument that I sometimes see women sort of drop on me is like, well, you tell guys to only go out with a first choice, and then you always tell women they need to kind of like relax their standards a little bit. And it's like, yeah, both those things can be true. Guys need to be a little more discerning in their taste and only engage with women that express a strong interest in them. And by the same token, like I said, it can also be true that women's standards or women's long list of requirements that they have for men should be a little bit, especially if they want to find some success in love. Otherwise, guys, just keep doing what you've been doing, and ladies, keep doing what you've been doing. Go out there and collect their cats and cat litter boxes, and guys, you're not going to find very much success chasing women that just aren't that interested in you. You're going to get frustrated, you're going to be disappointed, you're going to want to kick that can down the road and just say, all women, blah, 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 and you're going to feel, it's like, that's not how things are, guys. Women want to be pursued by the men that they want, okay? They don't want to be pursued by the men that they're indifferent by, and they're doing a disservice by matching with you. I'm sorry to tell you, but don't waste your time. You don't need to get through 4 or 5 chat GPT prompts trying to engage her to build some interest. If the interest is there, she'll give you the number. If the interest isn't there, she'll give you an excuse. Simple as that. Don't argue this. Don't fight it. It's a reality of the sexual marketplace, and that's just how it is. You want better luck with all this stuff? Follow my advice and let me know in the comments below what kind of success have you had with it all. Pin in the top comment, there's a link to my book, which you should read if you haven't, and also a link to my School of Unplugging, which has close to 50 plus hours now of unlisted classroom type of material that I've never published anywhere else on stuff like this, vetting for wife stock, making life-changing wealth, serious money, improving your health, lowering your body weight, all these sorts of things that matter to guys. So check out the School of Unplugging there. We'll see you guys later. Peace out.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.